My fiance cooked dinner, I had a glass of wine, walked the dog, and woke up this morning to some pretty stunning news. Matt Gaetz evidently likes underage interns, and Bob Menendez's wife killed a man with her car. Neither of these tawdry bits of gossip are new. They just weren't publicly known or discussed till the men in question became liabilities to their own parties. In the case of Menendez, video existed of the aftermath from the crash 6 years ago. The crash happened 6 years ago. The videos existed all that time. You have to imagine that the head of the New Jersey State Police, certainly the governor in New Jersey, knew all about Menendez's wife's car accident. It is a democratically run state after all, but somehow, just now, MSNBC is outraged.
You've killed a man with a car, and you are so excited to get a car next week. Not even slightly traumatized about driving, not in any way. And the thing you say you will never forget is the bribe that got you the car, not the man you killed.
Menendez's daughter's an anchor at MSNBC, so things might be a little bit uncomfortable over there, but Menendez and his indictment for bribery, complete with gold bars, is now a liability for the Democratic Party. Amazing that now a Democratic state that he represents, that covered up his car accident for what now, 6 years, his wife's car accident? Well, now we're learning about the car accident.
This is a guy that the media didn't give a time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with an underage girl. And there's a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He'd brag about how he would crush ED medicine and chase it with an energy drink so he could go all night.
To say he came here as a fiscal crusader, it's more likely he came here for the teenage interns on Capitol Hill, to be honest. Look, he's voted for continuing resolutions. He's voted for omnibus bills. He voted for trillions of dollars in COVID spending.
All right, so those were sound bites about Matt Gaetz. That also broke overnight. Matt Gaetz's escapades were the worst kept secret in Washington. In fact, Gaetz didn't really attempt to keep them secret, his proclivities with interns and other young staffers around town. But nobody talked about them on cable news. Certainly Republicans didn't come out and criticize Gaetz until Gaetz voted to oust Speaker McCarthy. Now the guy who kicked out Kevin McCarthy likes young girls. Who knew? George Will is here. George, it's stunning how much can happen overnight. I'm sure it's all a coincidence, right?
Of course. Standards of journalistic secrecy and journalistic discretion have changed. They probably changed decisively with Donna Rice, the ship monkey business, and Gary Hart. He said, follow me around, you'll be bored. They followed him around, they weren't bored. And since then, there's been no filter of the sort that protected John Kennedy, for example, from the publicizing of escapades that everyone knew about. Menendez is a different kind of case. Menendez is, in a way, well, he's a demonstration of the old saw in Washington that if Washingtonians didn't have situational ethics, they'd have none at all. He's now become a danger to this tiny majority they have to control the Senate. That's everything for the Democrats right now. Now, they're in a state it would be pretty hard for the Democrats to lose a Senate seat in New Jersey, but now it's so.
They're not taking any risks, though.
That's right. But they've got Hunter Biden on their plate. They got Menendez, and they want to say that Clarence Thomas having a rich friend is a real scandal.
I mean, I'm fascinated by sort of the situational ethics, not just for the politicians, but for the journalists, right? And you think about MSNBC, New York Times' first report on this, inside the Menendez indictment of Mercedes in a secretive fatal car crash. There doesn't seem to be, even though, any interest by the New York Times or MSNBC, for that matter, to figure out why we're just hearing about this car crash now and why the Democratic machine protected Bob Menendez. And for that matter, not a lot of questions to congressional Republicans who all knew about Matt Gaetz and his tawdry behavior and never seemed to care about it until now.
It's a very dangerous thing to do what Gaetz did, which is make enemies, bitter enemies of your colleagues. So he turned colleagues into informants, as it were. With Menendez, you've got a problem that the FBI did a lot of investigating. They found all those wads of cash and all those gold bars, at which point When you say to people gold bars, it becomes really concrete, and the Democrats had to move.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.